But Smitty, Ashton Jeanty, are we panicked about Jeanty, Smitty? I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm hearing about running back by committee. The Raiders scare me. Every other show is telling me to run away. Smitty, what do we do, Smitty?
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
Do not panic on Ashton Jeanty. In fact, this could be an opportunity. What are you talking about, Smitty? Let's catch you up in case you've been living under a rock all day. But Ashton Jeanty, according to his head coach, Clint Kubiak, is definitely going to be in a two-man backfield, a two-man show this season. That is not something that you should be taking as it's a 50-50 timeshare. It means that Coobs is going to run the ball a ton. And if you give Ashton Jeanty 18 carries per game, 18 carries per game times 17 games is 306 carries. That is quite a load to come out of the 2026 season with. And if you think that they're not running well over, who's at the front door? If you don't think well over, probably the mailman, I imagine. Let's take a gander. Oh no, that's Miss Smitty. She might be picking up a Uber or Uber Eats or something. I don't know. But we've got a lot of people panicked on this situation, expecting this to be a timeshare at the 50-50 variety. What I like to suggest that this is going to look like at the end of the day, when people start thinking the worst and they start saying Charbonnet, Walker, Charbonnet, Walker. This is going to be more of the variety of the Gibbs and Monty situation that we've been fending off all the worried Williams for years on. Like, oh, what about Monty? What about Monty? Gibbs delivers. This combination is what we're talking about with Kubiak. He's certainly going to be the Gibbs of the combo. Who are they even bringing in? It could be Rico. It could be Pacheco. That would be the free agent market that they'd look at. It could be Jonah Coleman. It could be Emmett Johnson. It could be anybody. It could be Katron Allen. It could be Singleton. But the bottom line is nobody that's available on waivers in Pacheco, Rico, Dowdle. I'll even show you the running back board right here. These are the free agents. It's not going to be Breece Hall. It's not going to be Walker. It's not going to be any of the big boys, ETN. Of the available options, it would start with Rico. It would be Pacheco. It'd be a guy like Rachaad White. It'd be a guy like Brian Robinson Jr. Allgeier's also out there. Allgeier, he's been a thorn. Can you imagine how many people are going to overreact on Allgeier? Oh, no, it's Allgeier. It could be Allgeier, but this is a scenario where these guys, no one can hold a candle to Ashton Jeanty. Ashton Jeanty's not going to be taken off the field the way that people are freaking out. The reason this is going to be good is the effect it has on ADP is probably greater than the actual effect it will have. Meaning that it's very, very likely that we end up saying, okay, Jeanty's ADP currently, let me show you his ADP right here. Jeanty's ADP currently as of today is 12 overall on Underdog, between 11.5 and 12. So if we head over to the board here and we say, where's this ADP headed with this information, with all the panic Peters everywhere left and right, with all the people watching all these other channels that, according to my reports, Jeanty's in a full-blown committee. Stay away from the Raiders. They're not going to be able to build anything under the Super Bowl winning Clint Kubiak. Oh, really? Okay, I see what you're trying to do there. Jeanty at 11-12 overall with this concern, and all the petrified Peters just continuing to pile it on and say, this is why we're concerned. This is what you need to do. There's already a lot of doubt because of people that predicted him to be a bust, and they just want to double down. And you're just going to get a lot of that doubling down on stuff. Jeanty's going to go from 12 overall to mid-second to maybe late second round ADP. And that reaction is an overcorrection. There's no even reaction for me. If you told me Jeanty would stay right at 11-12, I would still take him to the exact same degree. I wouldn't be lessening up on this. And you've seen me do that this year. I'm completely unbiased when it comes to these situations. And you look at Bijan, you look at Achane, you see how I'm reacting to two of my favorite players. We invented Bijan and Achane. We invented but I'm still, and I'm not saying they're avoids by any means, but I'm still peddling a little more caution than you would think I would be with Achane's situation, even though I love him. But you got to be honest with yourself about the situation. And this isn't me doubling down. This is me telling you that I wouldn't miss a beat. I wouldn't hesitate. I wouldn't bat an eye if he continued to go at 11-12. It wouldn't make me dial back any of my oversaturation of the Ashton Jeanty train across all my leagues. I wouldn't do a single thing. And what I'm trying to tell you is the reaction to the news is going to drive him so far down, relatively speaking, that you're winning your league. If Ashton Jeanty becomes not just your barely second drafted player, meaning you're drafting at the bookend picks, they're kind of both first round picks. If he becomes your mid-second round pick, your second drafted player, deep into the second drafted player territory, you're winning leagues. Can you imagine now we can get Jeanty and let's call it, man, I mean, there's so many options. Let's call it Jeanty and, can you imagine if let's say, so JSN, Puka Nacua, Gibbs, Monty. Can you imagine if you get Gibbs and Jeanty? Let's call it Jamar Chase. On occasion, he could be the third receiver taken. Two running backs could go. If Jeanty's a mid-second round pick and Jamar Chase is the most likely of the three receivers to kind of slip sometimes into the middle of round one, you could be looking at a Chase and Jeanty stack that we couldn't get if this news about Kubiak talking about getting another running back. Everybody needs a backup. Everybody needs a backup. We wouldn't be able to get into this situation if it wasn't for Kubiak. So we owe Kubiak a debt of gratitude.
I smell meatloaf.
Plain and simple. Plain and simple. That is the skinny on this. That is the breakdown. That is the analysis. That is the 420. If you don't understand this, I don't know what to tell you. And am I worried on even a small level? If you ask me, Smitty, dig into the most unbiased part of you and tell me what you're thinking. My honest reaction is this, broken down to this one statement, and it explains everything. The reaction is far greater in an overcorrection type of way that this isn't even, it's a blip on the radar to my caution. My desire to avoid the Jeanty situation is so minusculely affected. I am so continuously, he's number 11, 12. If he is, I keep smashing the button and I don't even dial back a single share. But am I looking at it going, could there be with this situation, maybe a rough week 1 or 2, or could there be a middle stretch where it's not as great as we wanted, and at the end of the year, he's tearing it up? There's some realm of that, I guess, concern that's not even, it's barely there. The fact that the overcorrection does not even come close to matching the amount of concern one should probably have. Like, let's say he's going 11, and we're talking about the appropriate reaction would be, okay, 2.1. Let's just get him in the second. That'd be pretty good. It's the same thing as 1.12. If you have that pick, you have both picks anyway. But just like if he's the first player in second round territory, that does feel like we baked in that little bit of risk. He's, you're not going to get him on a lot of teams because you're going to have to take him at the top of 2. So you really bookend pick dependent on getting Jeanty. The fact that we can get him really anywhere within picks 12 because your corresponding pick is 2.1. Pick 11 because your corresponding pick is 2.2. Pick 10, 9, 8 because your corresponding pick is going to still fall into this range. We now are gifted a 4 or 5 draft slot capability to draft this man, Ashton Jeanty. You get the 12, the 11, the 10, or the 9, maybe even the 8 pick. You can take Ashton Jeanty in the second round. As it stood earlier, you had to either reach really high for him in round 1, or you could only take him if you had the 11 or 12 pick. Because you could take him at 13 or 14, but that's it. I mean, he wasn't falling, and you're most likely to take him at 11 or 12. This opens the door to owning Jeanty in maybe half or a little less than half of all of your draft slots. You now can own Jeanty at the 12th pick because you pick him at 13. You can now own Jeanty at the 14 pick, the 15 pick, the 16 pick. maybe the 17th pick. And there's no telling if he falls all the way to 2.10, 2.11, 2.12. This is a good day. This is not negative news. This is a positive thing. This is Gibbs and Monty when everybody continued to freak out about it. We kept saying, don't freak out about it. It's a blessing in disguise. And Monty's required. In order to keep this guy healthy, you have to divvy up the work. They're running the ball too damn much for it to be just Jahmyr Gibbs. He'll break down. He won't be efficient. Instead of getting 5 yards a carry, he'll get 4.5 yards per carry. More carries, less competition, but a whole half a yard or 1 yard less per carry. What are you guys talking about? Jeanty's more efficient if he's not carrying the rock 400 times. Not to mention he'll get injured. This is okay. This is fine. Jeanty's fine. You're fine. Draft Ashton Jeanty. It'll be okay.
Hey, I'm Dom and I drive fast cars, get hot chicks, and draft Ashton Jeanty double fist style with 2 cell phones at the same time. Why do I have 2 cell phones? One for looking up Ashton Jeanty stats all day, the other is for getting chicks.
There's our rookie mock. We'll talk more about rookies this week for sure. But this is good news, ladies and gentlemen. Very, very good news. Let me get everybody off the board here. Continue to march on with the news that we have. Let's put Jeanty, let's tuck him away over here. I'm sure this is not the end of what we'll be discussing Jeanty-wise. Any super chats will be handled in the order in which they're received. My Rumblers over on Rumble are doing it live. We got Landman, Aldi, Bare Bones, where you been? Mikey, appreciate you. Caps over on Rumble, love it. FDX is becoming a regular, I love that. USAF, appreciate you, my guy. Gotta run Jeanty, love the combo. Yes, Jeanty and Gibbs, can you imagine that? How many times can we get that? I can't wait to draft tonight at midnight to see where Jeanty's going to fall with this. Real question, who will be the wide receiver 1 in Vegas? The wide receiver 1 in Vegas is currently not on the roster. It's probably going to be Dobbs, Wandell, yeah. Thank you, USAF, appreciate you. D-Money in the building, appreciate all my peeps over on Rumble. Guys, if you haven't subscribed to the Rumble channel, the moment we get to 10K, the Rumble channel will launch a Rumble show. It'll start off as 1, maybe 2. Or 1, but then some sporadic, other shows. If I can do 2 or 3 a week, I will do it. But 1 show a week, maybe it's going to be a Monday. I'm not sure what the time frame will be yet. But here's the link if you're on YouTube and you want to subscribe. And if anybody drops a $500 Bitcoin or Ethereum or Tethered Gold Rumble tip jar, Rumble wallet tip. That's how Rumble does a lot of their tips. They do Rumble rants, which are the super chats. You always see New Age Outlaw and Landman dropping the super chats on Rumble. This is different. This is a tip jar. It's a little dollar sign at the top of my Rumble channel. Husseini dropped $200, and he got into the Wild Wild West League. Anybody drops $200 today, even if it's 2 a.m., whatever, you're in the Wild Wild West draft. We draft live in March in the Wild Wild West draft, and Husseini dropped a 200 wad, locking his spot in. We also had 420 man drop a 200 watt and got in as well. And then AZ Healing was the first guy to ever drop a Rumble tip. But
he is a unicorn.
So here's our unicorn board. Husseini's on it. 420 man's on it. And Healing Nature AZ dropped the first Rumble tip over on Rumble, which was fantastic when it happened. I'll never forget where I was that day. Hey, thank you. And Husseini, you're the man. Standing ovation. Husseini and 420, appreciate you, boys. You guys are absolute marvels. Let's get to the rest of the news. Subscribe to Rumble. Subscribe to YouTube. If you're watching right now on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to YouTube. Nothing's changing on YouTube. We're not dialing anything back. Justin Fields, according to a report, Jets are open to dealing and listening to teams. Well, I hate to break it, but the cards are on the table. Fields is going to get released, and no one's going to fall for that. I guess the only thing you could say is, like, if a team was like, we don't want him hitting the market, and then he can go where he wants, we can control this narrative, he'll be pretty cheap. So it is, I guess, within the realm of possibility. Like the Vikings. Honestly, Fields is better than J9 by a country mile, in my opinion, for getting at least the football to JJ and just, being efficient. And I would love to see Fields go to, man, the more I think about it, the more it's beautiful. Fields going to, God, why haven't we been talking more about that landing spot? That's actually not bad, because O'Connell's fixed Darnold, Cousins. They've been very good in these situations, and you just think Fields could be repaired, and Fields is on his last leg. to get repaired. Like, if he doesn't go to the right spot this time, he's done. There's no way you can come back from this amount of neglect because he's not developing. So Fields is like a rookie right now in some of his play, and he's learning bad habits, and it's really hard to break, but O'Connell's the kind of guy that could break those habits. And I'm not saying that he's taking the Vikings to a Super Bowl, but you again have to ask the question, who is better? J9 alone? And let's pretend Mac Jones isn't available. I want Mac Jones. Mac Jones is my number one choice. But if Mac is gone, then what's better? What is better? Like Diceboy, you're saying Fields can't read defense. What's better, J9 or J9 and the option of Fields? You have both quarterbacks in case things go bad with Fields. You switch over to J9 again, and he'll continue to play bad. Or you have two options. And the same thing goes with Kyler. I don't think Kyler is the best option in the world, but it's better to have at least two options. And I believe that if anybody could fix Fields, and again, like I said, Diceboy, he's got to learn a lot of things. He's like a rookie in his development because he's never been developed. He went to one bad place. The Bears screwed him up. Ryan Poles doesn't know what he's doing. And you can say, oh, Smitty, look at the Bears now. Ryan Poles is not a good GM. You can say what you want. This guy practically ruined everything. He's very fortunate Ben Johnson came in and cleaned it all up. Ryan Poles was on his last leg. And you can say what you want about what, how much involvement he has in all this situation. Ryan Poles is not the guy. I'll tell you that right now. He got saved by Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson's really keeping everything together. If you took Ben Johnson out and put in another coach, the whole thing would fall apart. That's how good Ben Johnson is. Ben Johnson is a guy. He's the guy. He's that guy. Okay? As for Fields, he got ruined by Ryan Poles practically. Where does he go? Pittsburgh. Then they set him up to fail. They don't even give him the playbook. He outperforms the Russell Wilson expectation, and then they pull him. Then he goes to New York to what? Get set up to fail again? We've never seen Fields get an opportunity that looks like the Minnesota Vikings opportunity. We know he took DJ Moore and turned him into a top 6 wide receiver in Chicago. So we know that Fields can throw to motherfreaking JJ better than J9 can. So it's an opportunity, and I'm actually pretty intrigued by it, to be honest. I think it could be a good move. I think it'd be a real good move, especially for a team that might not have the options that we think they have. Speaking of Chicago Bears, DJ Moore. Bears have received calls for DJ Moore, according to many reports. And I think we have this one here, too. Yeah, another Bear report. Tyler Bagent. A lot of calls have happened between the two of these gentlemen, or for these two gentlemen, DJ Moore and Bagent. New Age Outlaw gifted a membership over on Rumble.
I smell meatloaf.
Thank you, New Age. Appreciate you. DJ Moore is interesting in New England. DJ Moore is interesting in Buffalo. DJ Moore is interesting in LV. I could see DJ Moore in LV for some reason. I could. So, I don't know. We'll see where DJ Moore ends up getting potentially sent to if it ends up happening. He's a very, very solid player. And I don't know, maybe he feels like he got a bad rap for the end of that game where everyone's blaming him on the route that he ran and everyone's trying to find an excuse in the book to figure out why Caleb threw the throw that he threw. And everyone's like, it wasn't Caleb's fault. Let me break down the film and show you where DJ Moore was going to go on a route that hadn't even fully developed yet. And everybody acts like they have the exact dimensions and latitude and longitude of where DJ Moore's route's supposed to be. Like, according to the playbook that I don't have in front of my face, DJ Moore's post route should have been at a 33.69 degree angle, and Fields and Caleb throws the ball into traffic, and everyone blames DJ Moore, who's been running his tail off the entire game. He's dead tired, and who knows what in the hell conversation that conversation was before prior. DJ Moore did everything he could. He was out playing everybody. And then he has one play where everyone tries to blame the entire thing on him. I just wonder if that's wore on him a little bit and if he's intrigued by getting traded. And he's been abused for, a couple of years now in Chicago. It's finally getting good, but he's also watching Burden and Odunze potentially. And if DJ Moore gets traded, then Odunze is not getting traded. I would be shocked, though, if DJ Moore or Odunze, that both, I'd be shocked if both were on the roster in week 1. I think one gets moved. We might hear some Odunze talk, but it seems like, at least right now, the temperature in the room is that DJ Moore is the one that will be traded. And it sounds like he's got trade value. It may be more trade value to teams that need a now player than Odunze. It seems like that might be the temperature, so that might be why we're seeing that. But don't rule out the fact that something could happen. Tyson Bagent hasn't proven anything enough, in my opinion, to be, unless it's the Vikings looking into this and they're like, oh, we like him, we see it. But there's probably not going to be a starting job awaiting Bagent if it wasn't a Hail Mary by the Vikings. And so I don't know that there'd be enough value offered for Ben Johnson to let go of his safety net and safety blanket, who he very much liked, so much so that he gave him an extension off of the preseason last throw heroic toss into the end zone with no time left, and Bagent won the preseason game. Ben Johnson's never been happier. Ben Johnson was, the time he took his shirt off in the locker room matched the vibe that Ben Johnson was slinging out there when Bagent scored that touchdown and won that preseason game. And he immediately extended him, gave him an extra year, signed him to a 2-year deal. So Bagent's on 1 year. I wouldn't even be surprised if Ben wanted to extend him again, just to make sure they have him for another 2 or 3 years, at least 2 years, because he is a very good safety blanket. He's perfect for Ben's system. If anything happened to Caleb, things unraveled or he got injured, Bagent would absolutely flourish in Ben Johnson's system. I don't care what anybody says. I like Bagent a lot. He's very, very, very perfect for Ben Johnson's system. Kyler Murray, this is the last piece of news, and then we are opening the phone lines. Kyler Murray we reported this earlier, but I just wanted to get on here and talk about it. Also, real quickly, just while we're here, let me also throw this one up because I think, it's important if anybody doesn't know and they didn't watch the earlier show that AR5 has requested permission to seek a trade. The team has granted said permission, and AR5 is on his way elsewhere. Will it be the Vikings? The Vikings would also be another potential landing spot. We've heard Vikings all day long. And would he be brought over to be the starter? Not necessarily. He could be brought over to be a Taysom Hill. But he could also, if he gets brought over, they're going to contemplate if it's between J9 and AR5. They're both very underdeveloped and they both compete. And they would try to make him into their starter for sure. But he wouldn't be locked into the starting job. I don't think. Maybe they sign him to a new deal, and that would suggest he's starting week 1. But AR5 to Minnesota is certainly on the table, and that's a place we've talked about for several days now. So AR5 would be intriguing. Again, Fields or AR5 getting fixed by O'Connell sounds pretty nice to me. I think it's a good bet, good shot in the dark almost. But Kyler Murray says he prefers to be released other than traded. Cardinals are going to try and trade him. Just because Kyler Murray wants to be released, they don't care. But will he get traded? I don't know. I think most teams are just sitting back waiting for him to get cut. But a team like the Vikings might say, we don't want competition, and let Kyler decide where he wants to go. We want to pigeonhole him here and trade for him. So he's definitely a trade candidate for sure. The phone lines are open. Dial in.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Dial in. Do it live. Guys, the fantasy football show.com is cooking. I mean, it's cooking, ladies and gentlemen. I've got, let's see here. I have the lineup calculator. Let's see if I have, let's see here. I think it's right here. I've got the lineup calculator right here. Lineup calculator is up on thefantasyfootballshow.com. I also have the trade calculator has been completely enhanced and created a whole new style of just. I've always tweaked it and made it better and better and better every year, but boy, is the trade calculator just cooking. The buy low, sell high. The content is up and kicking. That's a new feature where it's consistently dripping out content. And I've been working hard behind the scenes on this stuff, so I haven't quite. I'm going to be doing a lot of writing this weekend too. Bold predictions are up. We already have, I think, 6 bold predictions up already. And what is this? Rankings. The rankings have been completely revamped. The rankings are off the hook. Graphics have been revamped, as you can see here. We're cooking over on the fantasyfootballshow.com. So get over there, get your year-round content, try out the draft simulator, try out the trade calculator, try out the lineup analyzer. The draft simulator is right here. Look at this bad boy. Look at the graphic makes you want to go simulate. The draft simulator, your boy in 2002/2003. We're talking about 2-3 years after Y2K. We're talking about the internet being up for the general person, being accessible. You know, like I think it was 1997. You're in like a computer lab to get on the internet, loading ESPN, and the one image on the home screen of ESPN is like, you're dialing up at around 1999 to 2000. You're literally in dial-up. You don't even have a cable or anything, or DSL or whatever. So in 2002, 2003, I couldn't find a trade calculator or a draft simulator in the business. So I decided to create it. And so a lot of people have copied, some of the stuff I did in 2002, 2003. I actually let the draft simulator retire for a little while. It's back. I revamped it. It's unbelievable. The trade calculator is better than ever. So I've been tweaking that for 25 plus years. People have copied the trade calculator left and right. Go check out the content on thefantasyfootballshow.com. Travis, you're live. Oh, hold on, Travis. I think I got to get the speaker going. Where's my speaker? Hold on. Hello? I don't even know where it is. Did little Smitty take it? I don't even know where it is. Here, dial.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Hold on, Travis. I think I found it. It's on the ground here. Sometimes little Smitty gets in here and she starts pressing buttons and who knows what goes on. The microphone's all knocked around, upside down. Let me see if I could change the setting over. I think we're still live. I think somehow, some way, we're still live. It happens. It certainly does. Truss, I don't know if Truss, are you still here? I appreciate your super chat. We'll be back at midnight. I'm not going to be here too much longer, but we are back, I believe. I don't know if I'm going to open the phone lines though and risk it screwing things up again. But anyway, Trust, if you're still here, Trust, let me know. My answer about your MHJ super chat is that I trust him in one league, and I trust him only in one league. That's it. I'm not going to be going after MHJ in multiple leagues, but I do think it's fine to trust him in one time because there's so much talent that he came out of college with. It's probably there, but I don't know. I in general, it's one league. Trust him in one league. That's it, bro. Trust, are you here? Hopefully, Trust is still here. I appreciate your super chat, my boy. Thank you guys for all the support. Thank you, all my Rumblers. Appreciate every single one of you. Let me see if there's any more Rumbles, super chats or Rumble rants. Let me just pull that up real quickly. Thank you all for being patient. Usually I do come back if it allows me to, if it isn't like completely crashing unsavable, but definitely we're able to get back in here, sneak back in here. We're not going to stay here long. Just going to say that, let me get on over to Rumble, the Rumble live stream. Let's see here. There we go. We are back. Rumble, appreciate you. Thank you for all the super chats. Thank you, New Age. And if anybody drops that 200, like 420 and Husseini did, you're in the Wild Wild West draft. And anybody drops, anybody drops a 500 bill gets the Rumble show started at instead of 10K. We're at 4.75K. As soon as we get to 10K, the Rumble show begins. We do at least one. I'm going to try and do eventually Monday through Friday, but it'll be a Rumble geared show. YouTube might ride along on a stream at YouTube at the same time, but it'll be geared toward Rumble. It'll be a Rumble branded show. Guys, appreciate you. Where's my boy? Trust? I don't trust that he's here anymore. He must have bailed. Hopefully he sees this, but my answer to MHJ, I gave you. I'll see you guys at midnight Eastern. I'm sorry about the delay. We'll be back. Travis, you can call in then. Something happened with the phone line. It just triggered something, and I just needed to restart everything. So I restarted my computer, came back, and the stream was still going, so we were good. See you all at midnight Eastern. Appreciate every single one of you. You guys absolutely rock. I don't know. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys. You guys realize that? I'm here because I work for you. All right? Live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Live whenever big news breaks. Live at midnight Eastern almost every single night. Trust, are you out there? Leave a comment in this YouTube video specifically, and let me know that you saw my message. Go to thefantasyfootballshow.com if you guys want to cop some of the new merch. Look at this stuff. All right, my boys. See you all at midnight Eastern. Deuce.